Saturday Social, brought to you by EA Sports FC with PlayStation 5.
Right, OK, let's get cracking with the show. Huge match tonight. High-flying Spurs taking on high-flying Liverpool. Two teams in great form. That is the Saturday Night Football live on Sky. It got us thinking, Joe. A lot of players from both teams on form, so we thought we'd do a little Saturday Social player battle. Do you want to hit us with the rules?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got the whiteboard out. We've got, very simply, a green tick and a red cross. We're going to pit Spurs players against Liverpool players head-to-head. One's going to win, one's going to go in the bin. We're going to go kind of position by position, almost like-for-like players. And if we can't come to a consensus, Zac Djellab, you're the neutral in the room.
Level-headed.
You are going
Zac
to be
Djellab,
able
level-headed.
to make the decision.
You cannot say that a Chelsea fan is...
I know, I was just... I've taken my bias away from this. I am level-headed.
OK, trusting the referee. And we're doing this based on current form?
Yeah, I think we should make that clear. This is going to be based on current form, because obviously, historically, Liverpool do have a slight edge in this department. OK, so we're going to go on current form. This season's performances.
First up, two players, speaking of current form and speaking of great form, these two players are both having a great season. James Maddison and Dominic Szoboszlai. Grab the magnets and let's have a chat about them, because these are two absolutely top players. Yeah. Abby, do you want to go first?
I just wish he would have been there probably 3 years ago when Eriksen left Spurs. I mean, he is the definition of a CAM. He's everything that we needed. Instant impact. We knew he would be coming in. I wish he had Kane in front of him as well. Would have been very nice for us. But, we can't always have everything we want. I think, obviously Prem proven, we know that. The impact he's made, the work rate he puts in, great finisher, progressive with the ball, carries it so well, tracks back. For me, he is everything I have wanted in a player.
And you put him over Szoboszlai for this?
Yeah, I do. Don't get me wrong, obviously he's had a blinding start as well to his life in the Premier League, but I just think the impact that I'm seeing on current form, what he's doing at Spurs, I haven't seen a player come in and have that type of impact for a very, very long time.
Simon, thoughts?
Yeah, it's a hard one for me to argue this, to be honest, but I'd say, he's 22 years old. He's come into a Liverpool team where the midfield's been in tatters, really. We've had a complete revamp. Premier League, it's the hardest league in the world. Like Cristiano said that in an interview recently. So for a 22-year-old to come into a Liverpool team and to just boss it and just to feel like it's natural, I just think you have to give him credit for that. But equally, you look at the stats Maddison's got. Yeah. It's a hard argument, isn't it?
So
I think as a Liverpool fan, I am going Szoboszlai.
Got a feeling you're going to argue it though, aren't you?
OK, so they've both gone for their own teams. What am I going to do?
This might be a regular theme,
He's 22, 26.
James Maddison, come on.
He's proven he's come straight into the Prem.
Szoboszlai's been incredible, and I think the game obviously on the weekend could be the real decider for this. But if we're basing it just on the 6 games so far, I think I'm going to have to just edge it with Maddison.
It's the right answer.
It's the right answer.
Well done. It's got to be James Maddison, isn't it?
That's a tough one, though. That's a real tough one.
I've got to say, though,
both brilliant.
What's the signing? Maddison, of course, Player of the Month. 2
signings of the season,
to be
quite honest. Definitely.
2 signings of the season.
Yeah, probably. To be quite honest, yeah.
Got a great finish on
Maddison as well was 40 million. As well,
biggest bargain buy of the summer.
Is amazing. It really
got to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, interesting. Speaking to Ryan Gravenberch during the week, he was talking about Szoboszlai being the biggest surprise. Couldn't believe how amazing he was in training. Yeah. So Liverpool fans, I think, should be very, very excited.
Good battle that though.
Great battle. The next one, tough this as well, because Mickey van der Ven has been brilliant at the start of the season. So we're pitting him against Virgil van Dijk, and this is based on this season.
I mean, I feel a bit silly arguing it because Virgil is probably one of the greatest of
Are you going to concede this one then?
No, I'm still going to argue. He's come in and he's been so impressive. I think with Tottenham, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that the expectation has been so low about what we expected from this season that everything that's happening to us, we're very, very pleasantly surprised. He gives me shades of Jan and Toby.
I agree with that.
Yeah, he's just really confident on the ball, plays out really well. If he makes a mistake, his head doesn't drop. Great playing out from the back, which is something we haven't had for a while in a defender, and also managed to come in and really steady the defensive frailties that we've had, and they've been frail.
Also, I think what's great about him is that we've changed from a back 5 effectively to a back 4, where the centre-backs have to do a lot more work, and of course our full-backs bomb on, as you know, and he's shown so many different aspects to his game. Most aerial duels won, and best passing accuracy, which goes to show that he's good at both aspects of the game. So he has been brilliant, but you're talking about Virgil van Dijk, who is one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League.
For
I
sure.
presume you're going Virgil van Dijk?
Like, it's not even a debate, is it, really? Let's be honest. Like, listen...
I've got a sample size of 6 games. Come on.
No, exactly, and I totally agree with you. And listen, he has been good, and his statistics are good. But again, Virgil van Dijk, and I'm not being funny, he's not even Spurs' best centre-back. You've got Romero.
We should put Romero in.
This is actually not true. I think that he's been one of our top performers since come in.
So you'd put him ahead of Romero?
If I'm basing it on the 6 games, I would probably say yeah. Actually.
Ooh. OK, but for the player battle, are you in agreement? You go Van Dijk?
It's Van Dijk.
Yeah.
It's Van Dijk.
I gave it a go.
Even with the struggles, obviously he has had a couple of struggles, hasn't he? Better this season, but last season...
Yes.
But I thought it was on this season.
It is that
It's
good point
meant
well
to be.
made. Good point well made, mate.
Moving on there, a tale of 2 number 9s here, Richarlison and Nunes. Now, this is interesting because I feel like there's been a lot of speculation, a lot of people very vocal on social media about both of these players.
It's an understatement, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So let's start with you, Simon, here.
Where do you start with this one? It's Nunes for me. It's not even a debate, is it, really? I think, again, I'm coming in from a bit of a biased standpoint. Obviously, Richarlison was at Everton.
Yeah.
You know, to put it politely, I wasn't his biggest fan when he was at Everton. But equally, Richarlison's had, 32 appearances for Spurs. He scored 2 goals. Nunes has had 35 appearances. He scored 12 goals.
Well, when you put it like that.
Well, exactly that. But the thing is with Nunes, his finishing was a bit ropey last season. He got us a massive 3 points at Liverpool. He's looking on form. He had that McAllister assist, him scored the other day as well.
Great finish that, by the way, over his shoulder volley.
Yeah, massively. But he's coming into his own now. He's coming into his own. He's a good player, and he's enjoyable. He's fun to watch. He's explosive. So, yeah,
Let's bring Zac in on this. Where do you stand on this one?
I think I have to go with Darwin Nunes. There's an element that I think he has to his game, which is just not many players have it, of chaos. He comes onto the pitch, 100%. And maybe it's because he doesn't know what he's going to do, but the defence have no idea. And he has so many. I think when you have players that are also so raw and so quick, like Nunes is. It is so hard to defend against, and he can play off that left. He can play through the middle. He adds so much to Klopp's side. I think he did get probably a little bit too much stick last season, all things considered.
100%.
When he's still incredibly young. He came in for a big fee.
Yeah.
He's joining a Liverpool attack that had just lost 2 of their stars. A lot was expected of him, and I think we do kind of judge players very, very quickly. Same could possibly be said for Richarlison as well.
Yeah, 2 big fees. I think that's a good point. 60 million for Richarlison, 85 million for Nunes. So immediately that corrects.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, with the way that we are is looking at football nowadays, everybody always wants to talk about how that signing's a flop and how your rival's not done as well. But I think Nunes just looks really, really good this year as well. I think he's developed.
Are we going with Nunes? You can see this one,
Well, yeah.
OK, there we go. We'll move on to the next.
But I do like him. I do really like him.
The only thing I'd say with Richarlison, though, he did have a good World Cup, and you watched him.
He's always good for
and he did look good, but he's just not doing it.
Scored 2 of the best goals in the World Cup, didn't he?
What I will say is that he's obviously been very vocal and open about his mental health issues, and that's a very big thing for a player to do, and I think that probably does kind of affect his performances on the pitch as well. I think also when you're a striker, you're not scoring, you can see the body language. But he did change the game for us against Sheffield.
He did. Well said, by the way.
Definitely.
OK,
the next one's a really interesting one, I think. 2 new midfield signings. Well, not really. Actually, we're going left-backs.
Oh, that was next in my list.
Left-backs, yeah. Left-backs.
I mean, go on.
Are you going to try and argue?
Is it even an argument?
It's a big
argument. Is this even a debate?
It's a very big argument.
I know, but Robertson, Udogie, listen, he's 20 years old. He's come into the Prem. We've had 6 appearances.
Yes.
It might be
world-class appearances.
Listen, it's 6 appearances.
World-class ones.
Listen, we can have this debate in maybe 6 months or at the end of the season, and you'll have more of an argument. But for now, you can't.
Robbo has been incredible, hasn't he, for Liverpool for so many years. What I would say is Udogie is a player that a lot of Spurs fans are ridiculously excited about because of his ceiling. Are you one of those
100%
fans as well?
I'm not disrespecting.
Yeah, and
Robbo
same, to be honest. And same. He's had a great start.
Brilliant servant for Liverpool. Great player. Probably one of the best, maybe ever. In the Premier League. But this kid has come in 21 or 20 years old, and just. Honestly, he looks like he's been playing for years. I mean, I think the ceiling that Destiny Udogie has is probably higher, in my opinion, than Andy Robertson. I think this kid...
Wow, that's a big claim.
I think this kid could be playing at City, no offence to us, but I think he's probably too good
No
for
offence to
Tottenham.
us, I like that. His stats are amazing.
I can see
Most
him.
possession won.
Though, that.
He's so good.
Even the Robertson,
He's so,
Champions
he's
League
so
winner,
much
Premier
older.
League
He's
winner.
20 years old.
Best left backs of all time.
He has
20
got a
years
very
old.
high ceiling.
Very high ceiling. You know, spent that whole North London derby basically after 15 minutes on a booking against Saka, one of the best in the world. Very mature, come in like a duck to water.
Yeah.
I love him.
Most possession won, second
him.
most tackles in the Premier League for Spurs this season. Only 2 players have won possession more. Third most possession won in the final third. 7 goals and assists in the league for Udinese as well from left back. He's very well ran. But obviously, Robertson. By the way, the assist stats for Robertson from left back are ridiculous.
But he had a bit of a drop last season. So has he back to his best this season?
I think we're seeing it again, isn't he? But I think it's like with anybody, you have your ups and downs.
Yeah.
But I definitely he's coming back in. But like, listen, Udogie has had a great.
Just maybe let me have one.
We need to go with Zach for this then because they're not that. Where do you stand?
Come on, Zach.
Get off the fence, Zach.
If we were doing this at the end of last season, it might have been Udogie because he was fantastic at Udinese. I think right now Robertson has kind of adapted a little bit more to playing this left centre-back role as well. He's got a little bit more used to it too when they shift to a 3. But Udogie's been fantastic.
Get off the fence.
I think Robertson.
Okay,
for now. But if we did this in January,
we've got to push on to the next one. Zach is
I couldn't get high up there though.
Right, next one. Interesting one again. The tale of 2 former Brighton players. Yves Bissouma and Alexis McAllister. 2 top players. Simon, do you want to go first on this one?
Yeah, again, this is a tough one, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to go for McAllister.
Of course you are.
He's a World Cup winner. You know, Messi's looking for him in the World Cup. You know, he hasn't had the best start for Liverpool. I'll hold my hands up to that. But, like, again, his age, he's got a few years on Bissouma. And I think he's going to come into his own. You can see it.
You totally disagree,
I
judging by your face
completely-
there.
It's a tight one. I'm not saying he's a clear winner, but...
Ooh, OK. So it looks like...
He's not a clear winner.
Could be swayed with this one.
McAllister was 35 mil, I think. Bissouma was
25. I'm
Was
pretty
it
sure it was
25?
25 mil.
Very
And
soon.
also, you know, McAllister came in to kind of be the replacement for Bissouma at Brighton. When I look at what happened to Bissouma last season under Antonio Conte, that was not someone we bought in. That's not the player we brought.
Yeah,
now,
turnaround's incredible, isn't it?
Turnaround, unbelievable. Now we're seeing the player that we bought and spent the money on. And I think it's most tackles and interceptions in the whole of top 5 leagues in Europe.
Some Tottenham fans are saying he's the best 6 in the league last weekend.
Currently.
Flav on the show, yeah.
I mean,
is he better than Rodri?
I mean, no, probably not.
I mean, Rodri's an exceptional
Tottenham
player.
fans, a great player.
I mean, this week, Rodri's obviously suspended. So this week, yes, that argument's there. I think he's been unbelievable. He's so dominant in that midfield.
Yeah.
You know, good defensively, deeper role, can also carry it forward, pick a pass.
He's got a lot to his game. There's
I
only
love
one
him.
player in the entire Premier League who's had more successful dribbles, and only one player in the entire Premier League has had more Premier League tackles. So it shows that he can do everything to the game.
Brilliant.
Where are you going with this one, Zach? Again?
for this season,
Yeah.
because if it was based on the last 2 years, it would be McAllister. But for this year, Bissouma. Of the past
Thank
6
you.
games,
Yeah.
Bissouma. Bissouma's just been...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It may be one of the best revivals of a player I've seen in a long, long
Thank
time.
you.
Right, we've got time for one more, I think. So we're going to do Son
that meant to be in?
versus
Oh.
Salah.
Son v Salah we're doing.
Son, there we go.
See your magnets? You got Salah? There he is.
Mo Salah.
Go on then.
Again. It's Salah every day for me. Listen, I love Son. I think, you know, he comes across great off the pitch. He's great on the pitch. I've got nothing but respect for Son. Arguably, you know, Salah is number 1 for Liverpool. Son was always sort of second to Harry Kane, wasn't he? Would you agree with that?
Bit harsh, but yeah. different position when Kane's there.
Yeah, but I would say in terms of Salah's won the Golden Boot 3 times. There was conversations with him about getting the Ballon d'Or. I just think, you know, Salah every day for me.
It is a tough argument to make this one as, but I mean, Son in this sort of new... Is that the role for him, the new central role?
Yeah, the new central 9 role.
Played both, isn't he? Yeah, the false 9, he's played it wide.
Yeah, I think he looks good down the middle. I think we've seen him play there when Kane was there and he was injured as well, and that's where he's probably most fruitful now. Also a little bit older, so I think the explosive pace, he's still got it, but I think that we know that he's a little bit leggy sometimes. Look, I think he's world class, but I also think Salah, and the one thing I would say, the drop-off, obviously last season, they both dropped off a little bit, but I think Salah was more able to regain that form quicker, and when Son drops off, it is quite a big drop-off.
Okay,
So
so
I'm not going to argue.
Yeah, 5 Premier League goals for Son. Only Haaland more Premier League goals, but again, Salah, I mean, just been one of the best players in the entire league, isn't he, the last few seasons. I think, as much as we all love Son, is it Mo Salah?
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, it's fairly even, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got to say, actually, we looked at this earlier, didn't we? So I think that's pretty
4-2.
Pretty much got it right. Do you think? What do you think?
Yeah,
I think the
it's-
Robertson Udogie one's close.
Robertson
Very close.
Really
Udogie
close.
Robertson Udogie is very close.
That's why they're closer.
Thoughts on the other? Thoughts on the other?
No, everyone else I'm
picked him, so
pretty
you better
happy
be
with. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I would have made the same decision with Salah and Son.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Udogie Robertson is maybe the only one where if you're basing it just on this season,
Yeah.
people might flip it around.